Good evening, and welcome to FHN's Community COVID-19 Vigil. I am Sean Huguetin, FHN Spiritual Care Coordinator and Chaplain. If you all would feel comfortable walking, stepping a few steps in, make sure you can hear me okay. But we are gathered here today, this evening, to honor and to remember those who sacrificed within our community through words of reflection and a moment of remembrance and the lighting of our community candle. So without further ado, I welcome FHN's President and CEO, Mr. Mark Gridley.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for everybody that took the time to spend a few minutes with us in reflection and acknowledgement. We are live streaming this event to multiple locations, so those that still didn't feel comfortable coming out and getting together in an outside populated environment had the opportunity to be able to share in this experience. And being the president and CEO for FHN, it's really been a humbling experience to watch our healthcare workers and the sacrifices that they've made over the past 2 years each and every day. Regardless of the roles in which they fulfilled throughout the organization, their concern has just been caring for the community and continuing to extend that care. We knew early on when restrictions were put in place, it was very difficult for us as human beings not to be able to express our grief openly, not to be able to interact with others for support. And even as we thought about limitations at funeral homes for visitation, it really hampered that need for the expression of love and support and commitment that we have together. So the opportunity to be able to express some unity and some acknowledgement was something we didn't want to let pass by too far into the future, and to let people know that what has happened will remain forever in our memories and will be acknowledged for many years and generations to come, and to allow people to understand that we are not alone. And one of the key lessons that we learned, despite fear and uncertainty and so many unknowns, is that coming together, we were able to respond agilely, we were able to adapt. And here we are today, continuing to move forward. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Sean to share about some moments of reflection and to give us a chance to grieve together, but more importantly, to move forward together as we acknowledge what has happened over the past 2 years. So Sean, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. In 2019, we as a community went into a great battle against an enemy that we knew very little about, and our lives were forever changed. All of us, in one way, shape, or form, suffered loss through this. For some, it was losing someone close to us, someone we loved, someone we knew. For others, it was a loss of possessions, such as their job, their house, their car, as our world went into a total lockdown. But through this loss, there's one thing that we all lost together, and that was our normal way of living. And I think for some, that was just as devastating. But one thing we know is we can stand here today and we can know that we persevered through this trial that we all been put together. We came together as one. We supported one another. Even when we were struggling, we did not let COVID win. And although it may still have its presence here in our community, it does not have that strength or that capacity that it had at the beginning. And you all contributed to that in your precautions and listening to the guidance that was put out from our health officials. Now we can stand here today as we gather to remember the sacrifice of all of us and the ones we lost, we can also stand here and see the positives that came from this outcome. Because when we have an event like this, we can choose to focus on those things that were bad about it, or we could turn around and focus on those things that were good. And I don't know about you, but through this pandemic, I learned a lot about myself. We learned our strengths. We learned our weaknesses. Some would say we even learned a lot more about our family, because we had the ability to spend more time with them in certain capacities, because we tend to be so busy in life. We learned about our friends, and we learned about our community. Through all of this, we discovered in us that we did not know prior. And from that, we have grown as a person individually and as a community as a whole. As we light the community candle, I ask that we take a moment to remember those things that are close and important to us. Not only those things gone, but those things that we have to look forward to. For I always say that a gift that we've been given in life is this thing called the human brain. And we usually look at it as such a scientific complexity. But in reality, when you think about it, it really is the ultimate audio and video recorder. And from the minute our eyes could see and our ears could hear, we have been recording video cassette after video cassette of every experience that we shared in our life. And for you, that's every experience that you shared. So inside of each and every one of you are those memories, them videos of all of your life prior to this pandemic, through this pandemic, and what's to come after this pandemic. So right now, we're going to light this candle. And I'd like to ask you to join me as we reach inside of ourselves and pull one of them cassette tapes out and remember something that is close. It could be a loved one. It could be something that you went through and you persevered through. It could be something about yourself. As we close our eyes, remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and did not make it through the COVID pandemic. And remember those that are close to us in our own families and lives. Will you please join me? Thank you. For this candle will remain lit in our FHN chapel, and it will be there for all of you to personally visit as your personal memorial to those you love and wish to remember. So as we prepare to conclude this vigil today, we have some members of FHN's Family Counseling Center in the blue shirts behind us. If you feel that you could use some support, know that we are here for you. We have numerous support groups that are available through FHN that you can find on FHN.org that will encourage you to come and visit us and to continue your support and comfort for one another in the days and the weeks and the months ahead. And may God's peace, provision, and comfort be with you all. Amen. Thank you for joining us here today. I'm Sean Huguenin, Spiritual Care Coordinator, FHN. God bless.